on your right-hand side, you should see like a chat box, a sidebar with a chat box. If you can, in this chat box, if you can just like write whether you can hear me well, or just say hello, then I know you're here and then I know you can hear me. That would be great. Hello, everyone. Kamal, David, Kelly, Navi, great. Aniko, brilliant. Great, so that's working. So if you haven't discovered, it's on the side, it's like a sidebar. You can type whatever you want into this box and I can see the messages. Can you see each other's messages? Can you see all the hi's, hellos, hi, I can hear you, hi, hi, hi. Can you see all that? Can you just type and say, yes, I can see it, or no, I can't see it? I don't think you should see it. I think only I can see that. But I just want to know. Oh, hello, everyone. So many hellos. That's great. There's so many people here today. This is brilliant. Great. Yeah, I can hear you. Yay. Brilliant. Okay, right. Right, we're starting. Loud and clear. Yes, yes, hello, yes. Brilliant. Great. Okay. Okay, great. So let's start. I'm just going to make this active. Great. So today, what's going to happen is that this training session should be about an hour and a half. And I hope I'm not going to run a lot longer than that, because I know it's the middle of the day, lots of people are working as well. But yesterday I did run quite a lot after, which I normally don't mind, but I know, well, I should keep on time today, really. So it's about an hour and a half, including question and answers at the end. So if you've got any questions, please keep them to the end if you can, because I'm not going to be able to, when I do like frontal offline training sessions, then I'm very happy to answer questions as they come up. But because it's an online, I can't really keep track on what's going on in the chat box and reading all your questions in real time. So if you can keep those to the end, then that'll be brilliant, and I'll do my best to just reply to everybody. And if anyone feels at the end of the session that that question is not being answered, you can definitely email me, and I will reply your question personally. So yeah, sorry, we can start. So it's nice to meet you. This is me. And I'll just tell you a little bit about myself, just so you know what I'm doing here and why I'm here and why you're here. I come from the theatre world. I trained as an actress in Israel. And when I moved to the UK about 8 years ago, I decided that I'm not going to even try auditioning because I was really worried that my accent's really terrible and no one's going to want me to do anything. So I started creating my own work, which was with no words to start with. And then I eventually had my own theatre company. And when I had my own theatre company, I realized that not only am I responsible for like all creative process and everything involved in the creation of things, but also I was responsible on everything financially as well. And because there were other people as well involved in it, it felt much kind of heavier. And also we wanted to do bigger things, so we needed money. And I tried, I once did a really kind of big effort to fundraise money, and I got a friend who was a fundraiser, not for the arts, for something else, but still she helped me a lot with writing application forms, and it took us weeks to write everything, to send everything, and at the end of all this effort, I didn't get anything from some places, not even a reply. So it really kind of put me off application forms. and I just carried on creating my work for zero budget, which I'm sure that you know what that means, or what it feels like, at least most of you, I guess. And so, but then one day my company had 2 new productions, and we really wanted to take them to the Brighton Fringe Festival. And then we really had to have some money. We couldn't do it on zero budget anymore because we had to have money to register for the festival. We had to hire the venue, we had to pay travels, and we just had to have money for that. From a budget we made, we realized that we probably need about £1,500. And that wasn't an amount of money that we could just like get, because none of us had a lot of money back then. So so we decided, I heard about crowdfunding and I went to some seminar about crowdfunding, and then we decided to go for it. Now it took us a few months to decide that we want to do it and to create the campaign. But then we launched a campaign with a target of £1,450. And 5 weeks later, we had £1,606, which was definitely more than what we expected. And it was great. And needless to say that we did go and perform in the Brighton Fringe Festival, and we even managed to pay ourselves a little bit, which was a really exciting experience, because that was the first time for us to get money from theatre work. So this is how, I'm not going to talk a lot more about myself, but just wanted to kind of like tell you a bit about my connection to crowdfunding. So this is how it started. And 2.5 years ago, I started Theatre Aid with the aim of helping theatre makers to make theatre. And initially I started helping with artistic advice and advice about production and stuff like that. But then I started to get loads of questions, and most of them were about money and about funding. And I thought, right, that's almost obvious, right? We all need money to create work, and we don't have much money for the arts. And art is a really tricky thing to make money of. I'm not saying you can't, definitely can, but it is tricky, and we just all need money. So people need advice about how to get money and how to get funding. And I knew that for a lot of artists and a lot of theatre makers, crowdfunding is probably the only realistic option to fund their work. And I wanted to give some crowdfunding advice, but I didn't just want to give some simple crowdfunding advice. So I started really researching and learning and reading books and going to seminars and listening to trainings. And I really got kind of like a lot of knowledge about it. And then I started guiding people and mentoring people through their crowdfunding campaigns before, like in the planning stage and in the campaign itself. And this is really where I am at now. So I've been doing it for about a year now, and I kind of really try, what I'm really trying to do is to get as close as I can to some kind of almost a formula that I can teach, and with like steps that you can just take and know that you're very likely to be successful. Now, I can't promise you that you're going to be successful if you just do ABC, because there's no such formula in this. But I can make it much, much simpler, and hopefully by the end of this training, you're going to have a much better idea on how to plan and how to run a crowdfunding campaign and get funding for your work. Great, so that was a bit about me. And before we actually start with the content, I also wanted to kind of get to know you just a tiny bit. So I'm assuming we're all artists here, and it'll be really great to know what sort of artists we've got here. So if you can just type in whether you are a photographer, dancer, a book writer, I don't know, a video filmmaker, theatre maker, painter, you know what you are. So if you can just type in. I think there's a bit of a delay with me actually getting your responses. So so it'll take me a few seconds to get it. And while I'm waiting to your answers, I'll be really happy if you answer another question. And that is, what is kind of your plan about crowdfunding? So there's normally like 3 kind of rough options. One of them is I'm just generally interested. Oh, here it started to come. Okay, so a pianist and a composer, a freelance illustrator, a community radio station running actor, songwriter. JP, I've got your question here. Ed, musician, Rod, visual artist, painting, drawing. I'm an actor, director. Oh, it all goes so fast. Writer, lots of writers. That's great. Performance artist, sound artist, theatre maker, theatre practitioner, fooling. I am designer and gallery owner, visual set, architecture, design, filmmaker, actor, filmmaker. Great. Oh, sorry. Great. What else did I miss? Theatre makers. So there's quite a few theatre makers and performance artists, and also quite a few writers, and jewellery and card maker. Wow, card maker, that's cool. Great. So there's quite a few people here. Generally, oh, I ran a dance company for people with drummer, choir member and carer. Great. Ran dance company. Oh. Okay, I mixed two. Okay, so I ran a dance company for people with learning disability. That's great. I'm a recording artist. I specialize in creative businesses that involve funding. This involve funding. Great. Covers all creative and digital and practically dance. Great. I'm a filmmaker, photographer. Okay, brilliant. So. So about your crowdfunding experience, not experience so much, but as in plans. So for your future plans for crowdfunding. So you could be just interested generally in crowdfunding, and you're here that because you just want to know more about crowdfunding, how it works, what it is. That's a great reason for you to be here. So that's one option. The other option is that you haven't got like concrete plans, but you do have a project that you think you might want to crowdfund for, or you think you might want to use crowdfunding for your work in the next, I don't know, even a few years, but at some point in the future. So you know you want to use crowdfunding, or you think you want to use crowdfunding, but it's not a concrete plan, but it's definitely kind of like an aim. And the third one is that you have a plan, you know what project you want to crowdfund for, and you're going to go and do it in the next kind of, say, year or so. So it doesn't matter if it's next month or next year, but you know which project it is you want to crowdfund for, and you know you definitely want to do it at some point relatively soon. So if you can write that down, and then I kind of generally know what sort of knowledge about crowdfunding you have, like really, or what sort of plans, or how I can help you. So starting a campaign soon to raise funds. Double CD already recorded and mastered, considered crowdfunding for publishing. Great. A successful campaign. I tried this 2 years ago and didn't get the total, so couldn't do the production. I have a script that I've written and that I want to produce for a Gold Art Award. Do you know what that is? I don't. Gold Art Award. I don't know, Kamal. That would be great if you write me something about it. Number 2. Not yet, but I definitely need to. Yes. Okay, great. Okay, brilliant. So we're going to carry on with the presentation, and I'm just going to tell you something short about this training. So this training is for you if you're an artist, and you all are, I'm assuming. There's only artists here. If you need money to create your artwork, if you need money to put your work out there. So that's not the same thing, because some of us create artwork really for free, like poets can write poetry in their free time, and it doesn't really cost them anything. But to actually publish a poetry book, that'll cost money. So if you need money to put your artwork out there, then this training is for you. I'm getting loads of more answers now for that, so for now I'm gonna just leave them to one side. But that's great. I'm kind of like browsing through these. Brilliant. Thanks a lot for everything you wrote. There's just a bit of a delay with the comments, so we might not do much interaction like that till the Q&A at the end. Okay. This training is for you if you have a creative idea or vision that you need more money than what you have now. So even if it's not the art that you do on like day-to-day basis, or maybe you haven't done any art till now, but you do have an idea that you just want, and it's in your one-day list, your one-day list. So one day I'll do this. It's like a vision that you want, but you need money to do that. So this training is for you. This training is also for you if you're just curious about crowdfunding and just want to know more. And it's also for you if you're actually planning to use crowdfunding soon. And it's also for you if you think you might use crowdfunding at some point, maybe not soon, maybe you haven't got like a specific project, but you think you might want to use it because you think it sounds like a great tool, and it is. It's also for you if you're completely scared of crowdfunding. So if you're terrified of it, if you're scared of it and you made yourself come here, so first of all, I would like to congratulate you, because I think it's great that when people try and learn more about things they're scared of. And I really hope that by the end of this training, you're going to be much less scared of crowdfunding. And you're going to know much more about it, and it wouldn't feel so intimidating. Great. This is a time to transform your work. I know it's like a big kind of statement, but crowdfunding can transform your work not only in terms of money, it can also transform your work in many other senses, and we will talk through it. But using crowdfunding, you can really, really work differently, more efficiently, and you can really boost your kind of how you manage yourself in this art world. What we're going to cover today, we're going to talk about crowdfunding, why you need to use it in your work, what is it going to give you, and how to use crowdfunding to be successful. And also, so I've got a little promise. I've got two promises actually. My first promise is that I'm not going to leave you. So by the end of this training, I'm going to try and squeeze in this kind of like hour that we've got left. Oh, can everybody hear me? Because someone said they lost sound. I hope that it's just Kit and it sorted itself. Well, I'll just carry on because I can't get anyone else. Richard says that he can still hear all right. So hopefully that's okay. Right. So yeah, I'll try in this kind of next hour and a bit, try and squeeze as much information as I can, and I'm going to give you a lot of useful content that you can apply straight away. But I know that at the end, some of you will want some more support, some more advice. So I'm not going to leave you. I'm not going to just say, good luck, take that, and good luck with your crowdfunding campaigns. I'm going to tell you what else I can give you. Okay. So do not worry. And also, at the very end, for whoever is going to stay till the very end with me, and I will try and stick to the times, I'm going to give you my final tip, which is about how to make your crowdfunding campaign look super impressive to whoever comes and has a look at it, and how to make people give you, because of that, give you much, much, much more money. And this will just make your total much, much, much higher. So if you stay till the end with me, you'll get this final tip, which is really so valuable. You're gonna really be happy that you stayed till the end. You're gonna stay till the end anyway because it's really valuable information here. But this is like another reason to stay. Right, so we're gonna start with a reality check. Reality check is that there is less official funding for the arts, and I'm not going to talk much about it because you know that there's less and less money coming from the government to the arts all the time, and we all create work for zero budget, or we used to create work for zero budget. I don't know percentages, but I'm guessing that most artists do that, or at least did that in their past, and we all are at the moment working for free, or we used to work for free, or we used to ask other people to work for free for us. And this is not because we're bad people or because other people are bad people, but because this is the reality. And sometimes this is the only way to actually create work, is to ask people to work for free for you, or to work for free for yourself, or probably most of the times both. And brilliant ideas and great passion is just not enough. You also need physical things. You also need materials and money. What can you do? And great passion sometimes can bring you money and can bring you the physical stuff you need, but on its own, it's just not enough. So you need to get more. You need to get physical stuff. You need to get money. And crowdfunding, I said it before, I do believe that crowdfunding for most artists is the only option to get money to create your work. To stop working on a zero budget, crowdfunding is just mostly the only realistic option to do that. But people don't do it because so many people are just scared of crowdfunding. And why are we so scared of crowdfunding? If this is such a great option, why are we scared? So we're scared because it seems complicated. So yeah, it just seems complicated. We don't know how it works. We also think that we're not going to make it. Like, who's going to give money to us? Oh, I'm really sorry, I didn't connect. Sorry, I just need to connect that. Okay. So yeah, we think we're not going to make it. Also, a lot of us had bad experience with crowdfunding. So either we felt like wallets, so people didn't really care about us, but they just wanted our money, or crowdfunders were too pushy and too salesy, and it just didn't make us feel very nice. And it also doesn't really help their crowdfunding, and they wouldn't have done it if they knew better. But really, it's not their fault, because most people just don't know how to run a crowdfunding campaign. And the result of it is that only 40% of crowdfunding campaigns actually reach their target. So that means that 60% of crowdfunding campaigns don't reach their target and they're not successful, which is a shocking percentage. Also, 10% of all campaigns get no money at all, not even £1. So this is really bad. This is really sad, because we'll say maybe some campaigns are just, most campaigns deserve to get the money they need to get. And most campaigns just don't, which is pretty sad. But there is hope, because you can learn how to use crowdfunding. It's not rocket science, and people can do it. Loads of people, all people can do it. This is much, much simpler than you think. There are only two things that you need to do. One of them is learn how to do it, which is exactly what you're doing now. But this is not enough, because the second thing that you need to do, I know it sounds quite obvious, but people sometimes just don't really pay attention to that. The second thing that you need to do is go and implement it. Many times we take courses, we listen to stuff, we do trainings and stuff, and then we just put it all to one side and carry on with our lives. If you don't take this knowledge and implement it, nothing's going to happen. But if you take it, if you're going to take notes today, if you're going to pay attention, if you're going to do the research, and if you're going to run with the advice that I'm going to give you today, then you're much, much more likely to run a winning, successful crowdfunding campaign when you need it. I'm going to tell you a story about Ariella Eshed, who's a theatre director here in London at Tick Theatre Company. She's no crowdfunding expert, and she, a few months, less than a year ago, she started a crowdfunding campaign for a production she wanted to take to a festival, and her target was, I think, about £1,000, maybe a bit less than £1,000 actually. She put the campaign up. She worked all night on the page, which, like, an entire night is a really little time to work on it. But this is how she described it to me when we talked about it. I work all night to do it. She didn't do any research, didn't do any planning. She just put some stuff together and she put a campaign up. And then she started kind of advertising it, but she got no money, no funding, no one gave her anything. And after 3 days with a zero funding, she took the campaign off because she thought that's not working. This is when she contacted me, or some contact was made between us. And we started talking, and I gave her only 3, listen up, only 3 sessions with me, about 45 minutes each session, sorry. And she just took all the advice I gave her and she implemented everything. And again, she's no crowdfunding expert, but she did everything I suggested her to do. She launched a new crowdfunding campaign with a target of £1,000. Now that's not much. That's not much in crowdfunding terms, but the total she got was £1,705. So she got 170% of what she asked for in only 4 weeks. So again, she only took advice and implemented it. So anyone can do it, really. The other story I'm going to tell you is not really a story, but it's just feedback I got from Avatara, from Ava Dance Theatre Company, sorry. She's a choreographer, and I helped her with her crowdfunding campaign. And again, we only did 2 sessions before the campaign was launched, and another session during the campaign. And she reached her target and a bit more, and she raised over £7,000 with her crowdfunding campaign. And she made it. And this is what she wrote after. She wrote, having you as a crowdfunding advisor was a huge advantage for my project. You're excellent at that. So thank you very much for the help and the support. And this is why I'm reading you this feedback. Lot and feel very confident to run another one in 2 or 3 years if needed. And that's like on her own. So basically, after 3 advice sessions with me, she feels confident to just go and do it again on her own. So again, this is not rocket science. All you need to do is do your homework, do your learning, do your research, and just go for it, implement it, take it seriously, and you're going to make it. Right, so let's start. Get one of these. If you haven't got a pen by now and something to write on, then please do, because I'm going to give you a lot of valuable knowledge. Before we start, I'm just going to get a sip of water and you have time to get your pen. Great. So what is crowdfunding? Crowdfunding is many people who give small amounts of money towards one idea. So basically you present, and I'm going to give you the church example that I like to give. So say a church needs to build a new roof to the church. So what they do, because they haven't got one person who's going to give them thousands of pounds, they're going to make a big fair. They're going to invite all the people in the community. The people in the community are going to come. They're going to buy cake. They're going to bring cake. They're going to buy their own cake. They're going to give little bits of money and buy little things. And then by the end of this day, have everyone had fun, and hopefully the church people are going to have enough money to build their new roof. That's the idea of crowdfunding. Only crowdfunding is online, and And the fact that it's online is great because, first of all, it's really convenient. I find online things to be very convenient, but also it means that you can reach a much wider audience. You don't need to go and knock on doors and invite people to an actual event they might not be able to make. It's online, it's there all the time, or for the period of your campaign, day and night. And you can reach anyone here in Hong Kong, in Papua New Guinea, wherever they are, and they can still participate in your event, in your crowdfunding event. So this is great, and it's just an amazing tool that came with internet. So this is great. Random example. Now I'm going to give you a random example. So hold on, I just need to change the screen, and because I want to show you. I want to show you, where is it? Sorry, your screen's gone dark for a second, but that's okay. Right, now you can see the right thing on the screen. So you should be seeing now, right, yes. You should be seeing now my own first ever crowdfunding campaign that I ran for my own theatre company that I told you about like 20 minutes ago. And I'm showing you this because I want to show you how a crowdfunding page looks like. Now, I'm assuming most of you have seen a crowdfunding page, or probably all of you, but I just want to go you through the different elements in this page. And this page is on Sponsium, but it doesn't really matter because every platform will act the same. So the design might look a tiny bit different, but it's so similar that you don't need to worry about differences. Right, so the first element I'm going to show you, and probably the most important element in your crowdfunding page, is your video. It's here on the left-hand side. I can't, for some reason, I can't. I'll try and draw. Hold on, sorry. I just want to draw some stuff on that. Here we go. Draw. Can I do it? No, I can't do it. I don't know why. Okay, but you can see the video. Okay, you can see the video. Here goes. And that's video. Underneath the video, I'm scrolling down now, and you can see quite a lot of text. So don't worry about the right-hand side. I'm going to talk about rewards in a second. But in the text area, you can put a lot more things. So you can add more images. You can add more videos apart from your kind of main video here. You can add more videos. You can even attach attachments here. So we've attached a PDF, and you can attach MP3s. If you're a musician, that's a great thing to give to people who want to listen to your music. You can put anything you want to put in, any file you can attach here, which is great. So even though I call it the text area, really it's the more information area of your page. So photos and videos is really, see, we didn't put anything because it was like really my first ever campaign. I do recommend that you do put something like more visual than just text, but also put text because you just want to give people more information than what you have in the video. Right, on the right hand side, so this box you don't need to worry much about, but it's just figures. It just shows the figures of your campaign. So you've got the name of the company and the logo of the company, and then you've got how many backers, and you've got the target in big numbers, big digits. Sorry, that's not, sorry, the biggest digits is not the target, is the total that you have already got. So obviously this campaign is finished and this is what we got, but if we were in the middle of the campaign, it could have shown like 200, 800, yeah, where we were at that point. The total is this, is the target is £1,450. It shows you the target, it shows you in percentages how much you got already. And this green, lots of green kind of squares, is the green bar. So the more you progress with your funding, the more green squares you've got here. So you start with the empty, so all of these squares are empty, and then they start filling out one by one. So you want to get it to be all green by the end of it. And then underneath it, you've got the rewards. And the rewards is what you give people when they give you money. And that's it. We're going to talk about rewards later, so don't worry. I'm not going to say anything more about it, but this is where it is. I'm going to quickly show you just another campaign on Kickstarter, just to show you another platform. So it's just going to be really random. I'm just going to do discover. When you click discover, you have like lots of different areas. We're going to go to publishing, and from publishing, we're just going to take the first one. Doesn't matter, I could have taken like anyone. Yeah, just going to take the first one. Inspector Pancakes helps the president of France. Looks like a children's book. Great. So they got £3,427 out of £11,000 goal. They already have 134 backers, and they still have 25 days to go. So they're not in a bad place. Yeah, they've got about 30% of what they wanted. This is their video that I'm not going to play now because the stream is going to go all weird. But this is the video, and then here, so they did better job than us in this, but they did put more images in the text area, images from the book. That's great. You can see that they've put a lot of text and kind of more information. Okay, I'm not going to go through what they did because that's already like a case study here. And this is the rewards. Great. So basically, what I wanted to show you that everything looks the same. And I'm going to just swap. Sorry, your screen gone blank again. I'm just going to show you. Going to share my presentation again. Great. Okay. Brilliant. So this is what it is, and transformation it could make in your work is amazing because first of all, you can get money with no application forms, which for me, it was such a big thing to discover. I honestly thought that for the art, you have to only apply for funding. But you can do that with no application forms and with no like really official kind of procedure, which is great. You don't need to prove stuff that you can't. So when you do application forms, many times you have to prove experience, you have to prove stuff that sometimes are just not relevant to your project, and you just don't have to prove them when you do a crowdfunding campaign, because you just say whatever you want to say, whatever you think is relevant. And you have no criteria. Again, in crowdfunding, in more official funding bodies, many times you have an official criteria and sometimes a non-official criteria that you still need to meet. So instead of like changing your project to meet your criteria, you just change your funders. So I just heard this really beautiful sentence: don't change your act, change your audience. So instead of changing your act, changing your project to fit into someone else's criteria, you just change the people that you're asking money from, and keep your project, keep loyal to what you really want to do, because this deserves your efforts and your passion. Some more great things about crowdfunding. First of all, it's very, very inexpensive. So first of all, it's free, completely free to set up. But even after you set it up and you were successful, you pay a little bit. You need to remember that you do pay something to the platform that hosted your crowdfunding campaign, but it's not a big amount of money, and it's only after you got the money. So, and if you were unsuccessful, you don't pay anything. So you really don't take any risk, financial risk. This is great. It's really very simple. And hopefully by the end of this training, you're going to feel that this is simple too. It's not complicated. It's not rocket science. Money before project. Many times when you get funding from official funding bodies, you get your funding during the project, sometimes after the project, sometimes a long time after the project is finished. And it's just really hard to run a project with no funding, with just the knowledge that you will probably get the funding at some point when you finish the project. Here with crowdfunding, you get all of the money you need before you even started the project, which is great. Also, another great thing, I think it's great that it's online. As I said before, first of all, it's really convenient, but also you can just reach a really very wide audience. So that's great. And also, you can get more than just money. And I would like you to remember that and to write this down. And I'd like to tell you what you can get more than money. So first of all, you will get money. If your campaign is successful, you get all the money that you need to run your campaign, to run your project, sorry. But also, you get exposure. If you treat crowdfunding right, you get a very big exposure for your project and for your art and for yourself as an artist. And this is something that when you remember that and when you treat it right, you can really benefit from doing crowdfunding campaign, not just with the money. And also, you get lifetime supporters. Again, if you know how to do it right, and if you know how to treat your backers right, then they will be your lifetime supporters and your lifetime audience, and they will consume your art from now on, if you know how to keep them, which is so valuable. I'm sure you can agree with me. Right, so how to do it? That's the big question, isn't it? Okay, ready? Let's go. So I like to kind of divide the running and the planning of the crowdfunding campaigns to 3 different sections, and I call them the 3 Ps. So the first P is your page. And it's what I showed you before. It's the videos, the rewards, it's the text, it's everything you can physically see when you log into some crowdfunding platform. But the page is only the tip of the iceberg. The next P is your plan, which is really important. And you need to know how to plan your crowdfunding campaign right. That's the first thing you're obviously going to do. And the third thing is the promotion. Now, the promotion is also a part of your plan. You need to plan on how you're going to promote your campaign before you start it. But I still am giving it a special P for that, because this is so important that it's just like a completely separate section. Right, so page, plan, promotion, these are the 3 things that we're going to talk about now. So we're going to start with page. In your page, you've got your video. That's the first element that we saw before. And your video is probably the most important element in your page, because this is the first thing that people are going to click on and watch. And this is how people are going to learn about your project and about yourself. And there are a few things that I would like you to remember about video. The first one is that, before I say that, actually, I just wanted to let you know that if you're scared, and I know that a lot of people are scared about crowdfunding videos, how I'll make it, it's just so complicated. A successful video for a successful crowdfunding campaign really doesn't need to be a complicated production. It can be very, very simple. Actually, a lot of people that kind of go to like Hollywood extent with their videos are unsuccessful in their crowdfunding campaign because, or even if they're not unsuccessful, but their video is not really helping, because the video needs to be, it has a very simple aim, and this is to give information and to let your audience know you. And this can be done very, very simply with really low budget, with no like high-tech cameras or anything. So the first thing I would like you to remember about video is, sorry. Okay, so I just listed it before: video, text, and rewards. But let's start with the video. So first thing I'd like you to remember is that people don't give money to projects. People give money to people who have projects, who have ideas, but they give money to people. So, so please, please, please be in your video, because you want people to get to know you. When they get to know you, they're much more likely to give you money. So this is really, really important. And if you're really shy, then get over it somehow. Either get over it and just be in front of the camera, or get someone else from your team maybe to present the project for you. Or even, like, if you really can't do it, put a photo of yourself and talk and have your voice. Because but if you can be in front of the camera, just do it, because this is going to help you so much to get people's support. Talk to your audience. What does it mean when you talk in your crowdfunding video? You want to sound as if you're actually talking to the people and not as if you're reading. Now, I do recommend writing your text and reading it, or learning it by heart if you can learn it by heart. But when you write it, just write it in a spoken language. So it's much easier to follow. Even if you would know that you're reading something, it doesn't bother us so much when we can listen to the words, because they're easy words and they're not some academic paper that you just wrote for your video. So it's simpler for you to write, and also it's much simpler for us to listen to. Many times it's not the complicated and the hard things that are going to work better. It's with crowdfunding, in 99% of the times, it's the simple things that are going to work better, because it's all about communication. Right. So again, it's on the same line. Don't be too creative. And I know you're going to go now, oh, really? Because we're all artists and we're all creative, and it's great to be creative. And it's great to be creative with your video as well. And be creative, but just don't be too creative. And I mean by too creative, many people kind of start thinking about their videos and already they have like lots of ideas, and they want to do this and they want to do that, and they want to fly from the sky and scuba dive and have effects and whatnot. And then when we watch their video, it's sometimes really beautiful, but then at the end of it, we didn't understand what their project is, and we didn't understand what they want from us and why they want us to give them money. And so we don't give them money. We just enjoy the video and then we go, okay, next. We want our video, the first thing we want from our video is to be clear. So make your video very, very clear. And after you made it, so after you write something really clear, then go all creative about it. And after you were all creative about it, have a look at it again and make sure that it didn't come, you didn't mess things up in terms of how clear it is. So it's still clear. Let your friends watch it and ask them, what do you understand? Is it clear enough? Do you understand what the project is? I need money for, and what I'm going to do with it. This is the main two things that you need people to understand. Right. The next thing in your page is text. Only two quick things about the text. One is, again, like your video, write as if you speak. So not to the extent of, oh, well, you know, stuff like that, but write in simple language. A spoken language acts much, much better than, like, again, some academic or very official kind of language. So again, it's not a funding application. It's you talk to people. So just talk to people. It's all about communication. I mentioned it before. You can add anything else in there: photos, videos, MP3s, PDFs, any other file. But especially photos and videos are really important. And if you're a musician, MP3s are great for you as well. And whatever else you want to give out. Basically, if you're an artist, you might want to give out PDFs of like your work or whatever. But just so you remember and make your text area quite visual as well. But also put enough information there. Okay, the next thing is rewards. And for rewards, I would like to, first of all, I'd like to, if you have a project in mind already, then I would love you to have a little think. If you have thought about it before, then that's great. If you haven't, have a little think now and think, what sort of reward can you give to people who are watching your crowdfunding campaign? And if you start writing your ideas for rewards now, then in a minute, when I finish talking about rewards, I'm going to have a look and I'm going to read the rewards ideas. every time it's very, very exciting to listen to people's ideas about their own rewards for their own crowdfunding campaigns. It's great, and you can really get the other people's. You can really help you. Just seeing other people's ideas. Great. So rewards, make them really relevant to your project. So what does it mean? It means that if you want to publish a book, then one of your rewards at least needs to be the book itself. Okay, I know it sounds quite obvious, but sometimes it's not. For some people, it's not very obvious. But and also any other reward need to let me just they need to be all relevant and personal. So they don't all need to be both relevant and personal, but you need rewards that are relevant to your project, and you need rewards that are personal to you. Or they can be both. And what do I mean by that? So relevant can be a part of your project, a piece of your project. So again, if it's a book, it's a book. If you're doing a theatre show, then it can be tickets to see the show, or it can be the script of the play, or it can be, I don't know, a recording of the show. So it needs to be relevant. Or if the show is about, I don't know, chocolate factory, it can be chocolate, yeah? But that's also relevant. It's more creative, but it's also relevant to the project. And what do I mean by personal? By personal, I mean if you sign things, if you give something from yourself. For example, we had one of our rewards was for if you gave us £100, you were invited to a dinner that we cooked. It was in my house, and we cooked a dinner in one night, and all of those people who gave us £100 came and had dinner with us. And it was really great, and people really liked this. Many more people than I expected actually got this reward. It's really personal, so it had nothing to do with our project and our shows and our campaign, but it was just a personal thing that we wanted to give people. So this is let's just watch your examples now. I hope I can see them. If I can see them, then you can see them as well. Okay, someone asks, anyone knows how long this goes on for? So it should be until 3:30. Thanks, Anika. Let's see if, right, so, okay. Oh, there's so much talking around that I don't, okay. Great, so rewards ideas. My play would be about OCD, so it would educate people on what it really is about. Okay, maybe it's not an answer for the rewards ideas. Rewards, exclusive PV, limited edition print and video, great, and named as supporters, that's great. To be named as supporters, also a good reward. It's also not for a very high amount of money, but it's really nice to be named in your website, in your program, in your exhibition, maybe on the wall. Great. I saw crowdfunding. I was on play. It was based around £400 contribution. The cast would come and perform 10 minutes of the donors on site. That's great. Great. So it's something that's happening on a sofa, and for £100, they would come and perform on your sofa. This is brilliant. In the living room, I mean. Yes, all right. Free dance workshop, that's great. Free dance workshop is a personal thing. It's also relevant. It's relevant and personal at the same time, because if you're a dancer, I'm assuming you're a dancer or you're a choreographer, then yeah, it's kind of relevant, maybe not to that specific project, but to what you do. I like to have a specific crowdfunding examples, links of successful campaigns, 1 or 2 from the selection of films. Okay, at some stage, please. Okay, Chris, can you keep that to the end, and I'll do my best to just like show you some examples. I'd write a song about them or a subject of their choice, or thank them on the EP somewhere. Great. So write a song about them is great. It's really personal, and it's just really fun. It's a fun reward, and fun rewards are great. They really work. The photo book itself broadcasted, postcards. Okay, photo book itself, postcards of some of the pictures in the book, framed and signed photos from the book, limited edition prints, invitation to attend the launch of the book, invitation to attend the launch of the book, invitation to the preview and the opening of that's all brilliant. That's all brilliant, and it's all really relevant to your project. Yeah, and some of it is really personal. Like if you sign something, it already makes it a lot more personal, which is great, and it doesn't cost you anything. So it's really good idea to do it. You instantly it makes it much kind of like higher value. Signed copy of scripts, poster, DVD, thanked within the program, tweeted thank you. That's a very common reward, to tweet and Facebook thank you. And I think you should do it even if you don't promise it as a reward. I think it's a great way to communicate with your audience. Prop from the show is great. Prop them from the show, prop them from the film set, if that's a film, is a really exciting reward. Workshop with the cast, yeah, great. Signed photographs, tickets to exhibitions, great. Signed photographs, I'm assuming you're a photographer, right? That's brilliant, that'll be great. I have offered to write and record a song for and about tobacco, no takers. Okay. Chris, if you can just put me to write and record a song and about backup no takers. Chris, can you post a link to your website, to your crowdfunding campaign? That'd be good to see why no takers. It also obviously depends on how we present things and the amount of money that we ask from people, and also about the rest of our crowdfunding campaign. If we manage to bring the right people, then they will give us money. If we just create a campaign and don't bring people, or we create it in a non-clear way, then no one's going to want our rewards, even if they're great. Filippo, a piece composed for them, yeah, or a private concert in their living room, brilliant. But for at least 500. Yeah, I mean, you just put the price on your reward as much as you want to put it. Yeah, you can definitely have a reward for £500 and even for £1,000. Vanessa, the backers send in a photo of themselves, and I will do a personalized illustration of them. This is great. If you're an illustrator, this is great. Kamal, what would you do for rewarding people about a personal play like OCD, which I suffer with? So first of all, for a play, for a personal play like OCD, can you give Kamal some ideas? But first of all, if you do a play, the obvious ones are, first of all, to give tickets, to give the script of the play, to maybe even if you record it and put it on a DVD, you can send a DVD. That's like obvious ones. If you want to give something that's to do with OCD. Now, if you suffer from OCD, you know much more about it than I am. But I don't know, I can just like think of funny things, like you can buy them gloves, or you can buy them, I don't know, stuff to clean with, or I don't know, if you find these sort of things kind of, if you think this will, you will find this funny or fun, then you can do stuff like that as well. But it doesn't have to be about the OCD. Maybe one or two, it'll be good if it is about the OCD. But if it's just personal to you, so you sign the script, maybe you put a blog and you write something for them, personal for them. Maybe you share your experiences. I don't know, you can really kind of start, just need to brainstorm it a little bit. And also I need to understand a bit more about your project and also about OCD. to kind of like have more specific ideas that's specific for OCD. OCD t-shirt. Yeah, OCD t-shirt is great. It's great. It's a great idea and it's fun. Rod, we will in a minute. I have OCD. Give them a mug with peppermint tea bag to calm you down. Great. Okay, brilliant. So you can carry on that here. So we're going to carry on. So plan. This is really important. First thing you're going to do before you're actually starting your plan is you're going to research, and which is what you're starting to do now, or maybe you've started before, but this is what you're doing now. You're researching, you're learning. So one aspect of researching is really doing what you're doing now and learning. If you have a friend who's done a crowdfunding campaign, get them for a coffee and ask them about their experiences. That'll be useful, even if it's just a one-off experience, even if they're not experts, still it's going to be more than what you know, and it'll be good to have a chat with them. Also, the other thing that I do recommend to do before you start planning is to have a look at the different platforms and just kind of get ideas. Get ideas on what works for you, what kind of rewards you like, what works for you in a video in a crowdfunding video, what doesn't work for you in a crowdfunding video, what you feel is effective and what you feel is ineffective. Try and have a look at projects that are similar to your project, and that and see what they do, and see if they're successful or they're not successful. And you're going to learn a lot from it. But you do just need to remember that, again, that everything you see on the crowdfunding page is the tip of the iceberg. So this is not enough. You need to know more. Right, the next thing that you're going to do when you start planning, the first thing that you're going to do after the research is to define your project. And I know, again, like many other things I have said today, it kind of sounds obvious, but many people just kind of throw themselves into crowdfunding campaigns without actually understanding what they want to do. So you sit down and you write to yourself and you make some decisions. What is my project about? So this is when I wanted to actually reply to JP. He's here with us today, and he said that he's music songwriter, and he wants to have a deal with a publishing deal, which is great. But if you want to run, it's a great target for yourself. But if you want to run a crowdfunding campaign, you need to find a specific project to say. So to say, I'm a songwriter, or I'm a writer, or I'm a dancer, and I want to break through, and I want to make it in the arts world. That's great, but this is not a specific project that's specific enough for crowdfunding purposes. So for crowdfunding purposes, you need something that's going to be, I want to produce a record, or I want to even just record 2 tracks. If like a whole record, maybe it's too much for you at the moment, then just do 2 tracks or 1 track, and you only need, like, I don't know, £500 for that. And this is what you want to do. That's your project. Or you can go a much bigger project, but you need a project that's going to be very, very clear, and that is going to be very clear results. Maybe your project is to get equipment to your studio. That's also a project. I need to have the best studio I need, and for this I need to buy like really professional equipment, and I need your help, and I need 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you can give your music as rewards. You can give loads of things, but you need a specific idea in mind. That's defining your project, and I hope that's clear enough, because it's really important. Defining your team is another important thing. So you need to know who you're working with. It could be just yourself, which is fine, but if it's just yourself, then you need to know that, and not think that someone's going to come up and help you along the way. I just recently worked with someone who kept, while he was crowdfunding, he kept approaching people whom he thought, are in his crowdfunding team, but they didn't know about that, and they didn't help him as much as he wanted them to help him. So it's really just important to, before you start anything, to understand and define who your team is. If you have team members, if you've got people who are going to run the crowdfunding campaign with you, then they should know about it, and they should be happy to do it, and they should know what they're expected to do, and you should know what they're happy to do for this campaign. So, and if you do have a team, it's going to be really helpful. I do recommend having a team if you can get one. Then you need to, it's a good time to create a budget, because you will need to define a target. And this is something that you can't change. Once you've launched your crowdfunding campaign, there are two things that you can't change. One is the target, and the other one is your deadline. The rest you can change. You can change your video, you can change your rewards, you can change loads of other things, but you cannot change your target. So, and have the budget before, know what your project's going to cost. Don't forget in your budget that you are going to pay the crowdfunding platform between 4 to 9% of your total, plus about 3% to like PayPal or whatever other company that's going to take cards for you. So put this in the budget as well. And also don't forget the cost of your rewards. And otherwise, you know your project, and just make a little research and put a budget together and understand what your target needs to be. And then you're going to make your schedule. And this is your deadline comes in, where this is your deadline comes in. So you're going to decide when your crowdfunding campaign is going to be launched, how long it's going to take, so when your deadline is going to be, and if you have any other events during your crowdfunding campaign, either online or offline events, just put them down and decide, in the middle of my campaign, I'm going to do like a party to promote it or whatever. Put that. And everything else you can put, when is the video going to be ready, when is the reward list going to be ready, put it all down. Even if you're going to change this schedule, it's fine, but it's nice to have some sort of reference point. Great, this is the plan. Now let's talk a little bit about promotion. So promotion is a really, really big thing, and no one is going to get people to your page besides you. You're going to do it, you and your team, if you have a team. Kickstarter is not going to do it for you. Indiegogo is not going to do it for you. No one's going to do it for you. You are the one who is going to get people to your page. Now, this is a really big subject, and we're not going to talk a lot about it, but I'm going to give you like a few really important things that you should think about. So first of all, you should think about your promotion from the planning stage. I know I said it before, I'm going to say it again. Don't put up a crowdfunding page and then think, oh my God, now I need to promote it. Okay, how am I going to do it? No, think about it and plan it in advance. And the final tip that I'm going to give you is a lot to do with that, is a lot to do with promotion. How to make your crowdfunding page looks really impressive is a lot to do with how you deal with your promotion, how you manage your promotion. Right, so we have in promotion, we have 3 circles. The first circle, and I put it in red just because it's like the hottest circle that's like much more likely to give us money than anywhere else in the world, is our closest friends and family. These are the people who are going, and you know who they are. It might be like some people from your family are not in this circle, but you know who they are. And the second circles are friends, just people that you know, not your closest friends, but your like second circle friends, your colleagues, and your online communities. So if you have got online communities like Facebook, Twitter, we're going to talk about it in a minute. And then the third one is complete strangers. That's in faded yellow because you still need to reach them. The way to reach to complete strangers, I'm not going to talk a lot about this one, but I'm just going to say that there are lots of different ways. A few of them are blogs. So if you're a photographer and you know a blogger who write about photography and photographers, then maybe you want to approach them and ask them to talk about your crowdfunding campaign if they find it exciting. That's one way to approach complete strangers, to reach them. Websites, like specific websites that do write stuff about art or about your specific art field. Papers, that's newspapers, media, local media, national media if you can get there, international media if you can get there, that'd be amazing. So yeah, whichever way that you can approach complete strangers. In blogs, you can obviously also write your own blog and get followers. That'll take quite a lot of preparation before. It's more like an online community really already if you have a blog and followers, so it's a bit more like an online community. Okay, so let's talk a bit about online communities. So the two kind of most famous ones are Twitter and Facebook. You obviously have more like Instagram and Pinterest and all the social media kind of platforms. But also, again, if you have a blog and you have followers that follow your blog, that's another thing. So before your campaign, this is what is recommended to do. You need to build, and it'll be really great if you manage to build an engaged community. And what does that mean? If you have a Facebook page with thousands of likes on it, it doesn't mean anything if people are not actually being involved in your page. So how do you know if your community is engaged? If people actually like your individual posts, if they comment on your posts, if they share your post, that means you have an engaged community. If you actually communicate with them, I've liked millions of pages in my Facebook Live, but I don't remember most of them, and you don't too. So likes are not important. It's not the main thing. It's not even important. Page likes, I mean. And communicating is the key. So, and Twitter as well, if you have like thousands of followers, it doesn't mean anything if you don't communicate with them. You need to communicate with your online network. And if you want to concentrate on just Twitter or just Facebook to start with, that's better than have like a really kind of just average Facebook and Twitter account. If you can concentrate on just one and make it great, it's going to be really helpful for you when you actually launch your crowdfunding campaign. Now, during your campaign, what you can do is, first of all, you don't spam. So I like the metaphor of the cocktail party. Imagine that Facebook and Twitter and all the rest of social media platforms are like a really big cocktail party where everyone meet and have a nice chat and a nice drink and a good time. And then there's this one person who comes in this party and they bring some sort of agenda and they try to sell you something, and they're constantly only talking about this. So imagine how popular they're going to be, and you don't want to be that person because it's not going to be helpful for your crowdfunding campaign. So just communicate with people and chat with people and talk with people. And when it's relevant, yes, definitely bring it up and tell people about it, but tell it about it still in a fun way, in a communicative way, and not in a pushy way. When people do anything for your crowdfunding campaign, even just sharing it online, say thank you, reply to any comments, and really talk to people. And when you do say stuff about your campaign, like, yay, we got £1,000 already, we still need your help, blah, 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 put a link there as well. Never say something about your crowdfunding campaign without putting a link, because people are lazy and they're not going to start Googling your campaign. If you haven't got a link there, no one's going to get to your crowdfunding campaign from this post. So don't waste it. Great. Really quickly, I want to talk about your mailing list, and this is probably the kind of like last thing I'm going to really talk about today. Your mailing list is really, really important, and if you haven't got a mailing list yet, you should have one. Get one. Get the people who you think are interested in your work. Always give them the option to unsubscribe from your mailing list, and start getting them updated with what you do and what you want to do. Mailing list is a really, really important thing to have, because in this crazy world of today, an email is a personal way of communication, and people treat it like that. Send a preparation email. That means that before you launch your crowdfunding campaign, if you have a mailing list, you can email everyone on your mailing list and say, hey, listen up, I'm going to run a crowdfunding campaign. I have this idea for this new project, and in about a week from now, I'm going to start a crowdfunding campaign. So keep an eye out. That'll be great. That'll prepare your mailing list to this and make them more responsive when you actually tell them about your crowdfunding campaign. Don't worry about sending more than one email per contact. Actually, the average of the amount of reminders that people need to actually take action is 3 times. So people will want to give you money, but they're going to say, oh, I'm going to look at it later today, and they're not going to. And then you email them in a week or in a few days, and then they say, oh yeah, I definitely want to do that. I definitely want to have a look. I'll do it tonight. And they're not going to do it. And then 2 days before you finish your crowdfunding campaign, you send them another email, and then they say, oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I wanted to do it. Okay, I'll do it now. So don't worry about reminding people. Actually, people appreciate reminders. If they're not pushy, again, if you write it nicely, people appreciate reminders. People need reminders. And also write things as personal as possible. If you can write one-by-one emails with a personal kind of first paragraph, that's the best. I know it sounds like it takes a lot of time, and it does take a lot of time, but it's really, really worth it. So do it as personal as you can. After you've finished your campaign, don't forget your backers. They are your followers for life if you treat them like that. So once a person gave you money, and it's really important that you understand that once someone gave you even £1, they're committed to like your art, to like your work. They're committed to follow your work. It's a psychological thing. They're not really legally committed to anything, but psychologically, they're committing themselves because they've made this announcement, this statement that they like your work enough to actually give you money. And now they're going to be, from now on, they're going to be interested in your work, and they're going to want you to keep them updated. So keep them updated and keep them involved, because they are going to be interested, and they are going to come and watch your concerts and your shows and buy your books and follow your art. So don't forget about them, and keep a mailing list. This is, if you haven't got a mailing list yet, this can be a really brilliant start of a mailing list. All of your backers, you get your emails, you get their emails, you have their emails, because you have to communicate with them and give them their rewards. Keep their emails, always give them the option to unsubscribe, but from my experience, it's very rare that people actually unsubscribe after they gave you money, because they do want to be kept updated. So don't forget about them. And that's really important. And this is when we finish our content kind of section. Now, I still owe you 2 things. I still owe you my super simple trick on how to impress potential supporters and get them to back your project without thinking too much. It will make your work easy and your total much, much, much higher. And I also owe you questions and answers. So if you want to start posting your questions even now, you can do that, because before I do that, I want to talk about what's now. And I'm going to talk about it now. I'm going to take like 5 minutes to talk about it. And if you want to post your questions already, so by the time I finish, I can see them. Actually, I'm still going to give you the tip before the questions, but you can still post them now. It's fine. Right. So what's now? Now, I know that some people are here just to kind of have very general knowledge about crowdfunding, and this is great. And I really hope that this was really valuable for you. And I know that some people also came with like specific plans to crowdfund, and maybe some of you already feel confident enough to actually go and do that. And I wish you the best of luck, and I'm really happy. But I also know that some people are here because they want to use crowdfunding, but they still feel like they would love to get some more support and some more advice. Now I'm going to quickly tell you that I do have a mentoring program that actually I'm not going to give you the option to get my mentoring program today. Because in a second you'll know why, because I'm going to try and give you something much better. Of course, you can get my mentoring program if you want to. That is 6 sessions on Skype or on the phone, person sessions with me that you can spread however you want to. And it's unlimited emails with me for the duration of your campaign, the planning and the campaign itself. This mentoring program is very personal. And it costs now, because it's like a promotional kind of Christmassy, New Year'sy promotional time. It costs £332 instead of £474. So again, if you want to get it, you can go on my website and get it now. But before you do, I want to tell you about something much more exciting, I think, because I know that for a lot of artists, 332 and not mentioning 475 is a big investment. And I wanted to find out, to find a way to still help people and maybe even help them more effectively for a smaller investment, for a smaller money investment. And I found this. So I'm going to start a course. It's called 5 Weeks to Your Crowdfunding Campaign. Now, this course is only limited to 20 people, 20 artists are going to go on this course. And then I'm going to close it, because it's really, you're going to understand why in a minute. What is this course? First of all, it's online. So it's like this session is all going to happen online. So it doesn't matter where you are in the world, you can still attend the sessions, you can attend the course, you can watch it from your computer or your phone even, so it really doesn't matter where you are. And it's all recorded, again, like this session. So it's recorded, and you get the recording of all the sessions, so your course stays with you for life. So if you attended the course and then in a year's time you want to run a crowdfunding campaign, you can go back to your recordings and just have a listen and run a new crowdfunding campaign without attending a new course. So this is really great that it's online. It's going to happen once a week for 5 weeks. And in these 5 weeks, the idea is that you will have, by the end of the course, a ready-to-launch crowdfunding campaign. That means that we are going to learn a lot about, practically, about how to actually build and plan and run a crowdfunding campaign. But not only are we going to learn about it, you're also going to get homework, and you are going to build your crowdfunding campaign during that course. Now, if you're only coming to the course to learn more about crowdfunding and get more practical knowledge about crowdfunding, that's great. Obviously, you don't have to build a crowdfunding campaign. But if you want to use this course as a deadline and as a push to building your own crowdfunding campaign, then that's the best opportunity you have now to do it, because it'll give you a deadline, it'll give you the support you need, and the environment you need to build this crowdfunding campaign in only 5 weeks. So in 2015, you can create the work that you want and the project that you dream of now. Now, again, as I said, it's for 20 artists only. And this is because it's going to be very personal. I want to get to know your work really, really closely. And this is why I'm giving you a lot of support. I want to make sure that crowdfunding campaigns are actually successful and you manage to get what you wanted to get and what you need to get. And therefore, I'm giving you, when you go in the course, unlimited access to me. You can write to me as many emails as you want, as you need about your crowdfunding campaign during the course, plus 2 weeks after the course is finished. And I'm going to reply personally within 48 hours, and normally a lot sooner as well, to all of your emails. I'm also going to build a closed Facebook group. So only the people who are actually doing the crowdfunding campaign course are going to go on this Facebook group, and I'm going to be there, and I'm going to give support and advice and answer questions. But also your friends doing the same course are going to be there. So you're going to ask them feedback, you're going to ask questions, you're going to ask for brainstorming, and you can get a lot of support from your friends on the course, which is so valuable. Your peer support is going to be so valuable, and Facebook can give us that. So we're going to use it, and we're going to create a group and just have this kind of environment as well, another way to support your campaigns. And also, as I mentioned, you're going to get some homework. And again, if you don't need to actually build a crowdfunding campaign, you don't have to do the homework. Of course, if you do them, you get the knowledge better. But the homework are going to be very, very clear. And so it's not going to be a problem, but it will require work. So if you think you're going to come on the course and someone else is going to do the work for you, and in 5 weeks you're going to have a crowdfunding campaign, then you are wrong, and don't come on the course with that attitude, with that approach, because it's wrong. You're not going to have a crowdfunding campaign. You're going to do all the work. I'm going to give you all the support you need, all the answers you need, all the knowledge you need, and all of my experience. And you're going to do this work, and together we're going to create your successful campaign. Now, what we're actually going to learn is on week 1, we're going to learn about planning your campaign. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the different projects that you've got and what sort of plans they need. And we're going to already talk about your promotion. So remember I said that start from planning stage, talking about your promotion, thinking about your promotion. So we're going to already start getting it together and plan for how you promote it. Week 2, we're going to talk about video and text, and that's how to write the text in the video, how to shoot the video, how to edit the video. Really practical. You're going to get homework. The homeworks that you're going to get are writing the text in the video. And it's going to be very clear, and it's going to be much less complicated than what you think. Week 3, we're going to be creating your rewards. And then week 4, we're actually not going to have a new content, but it's going to be a feedback session on the videos and on the reward lists that you've created in your homework. So of course, you can send me links to videos, and you can send me your rewards, everything a lot before with your email, by email. But on week 4, we're going to have like a public kind of feedback session that's going to be really, really helpful for everyone who's created a video, and for everyone who hasn't created a video as well, to just watch other people's videos and listen to the feedback and give feedback of their own as well. See what works, what doesn't work. Week 5 is all about promotion. So we started with talking about promotion, and we're going to end with talking about promotion and building a really strong promotion plan. So yeah, and after every session, there's going to be Q&A, of course. So it's going to be very personal. I'm going to get to know your project, and I'm going to give you the most of the support I can give you. Now, I'm going to also give you, I don't know why this sentence here, no, it doesn't matter. It doesn't make any sense now without contents. I'm going to give you 2 more bonuses when you get this course, to make sure that you're actually successful with your campaign. I'm going to give you a personal Skype or phone advice session with me, and you can book it for any time until the 21st of December 2015. So because I know that some of you will take the course and they don't need the actual campaign in 5 weeks from now or in 7 weeks from now. They need the campaign in like 6 months from now or 10 months from now. So you can still book a session with me much later on in the year. So all the way before Christmas next year, you can book the session with me. And And then the artist mailing list is my next course, is the course that I'm going to deliver after. And it's talking about how to create and use mailing lists effectively, how to make your mailing list big and effective and responsive, and how to use it well. So the reason why I'm giving you this course is because I really feel that it's going to really, really be helpful with your crowdfunding campaign. So I don't want to leave you just kind of like, you know, hanging on. I just want to give you the most support that I can. And the mailing list is going to be so helpful. Imagine you're going to have a really big, with a few hundred people's responsive people on your mailing list who are going to get the news about your crowdfunding campaign. Imagine how helpful this is going to be and how much this is going to boost your campaign. So you really want to have that. This is why I'm giving you that, because it's going to be really, really helpful. Right. The course will start on Wednesday, the 21st of January. So it's been about, what, 2 weeks from now. It's going to be every Wednesday on 10 a.m. in the morning, UK time. But if you can't attend all of it, have no fear, because you will get the recording of all the sessions, so you don't have to miss anything. So not only you don't have to miss anything, but also you keep the recording and you can listen to them next month, next year, in 5 years. It's yours. You also get the artist mailing list, as I said. This will run at the end of February or beginning of March. So it's basically right after 5 weeks course is finished. The next course will start. So it's basically, you can treat it like one long course, basically, because it's complementing what we're doing here. Right. So just to summarize, this is the offer with also what it costs as well. So the course, 5 sessions, the value of it is £87. I mean, that's what this is the cost of it, which is unlimited email access and the exclusive Facebook group for support, 5 sessions. Also, you get a personal Skype or phone advice session with me, which is £55. That's the value of it. You don't actually pay anything for it. You just get it, but it's worth £55. You also get the artist mailing list course. That's also worth £55. So again, you don't pay anything for it, but this is the value of it. So the total value of everything you get is £197. But you don't pay that because your investment is only £87. But to make it a real no-brainer, and because I would like you to take action quick, because I do believe that people who can take action quickly are going to be more successful in crowdfunding and also in other things in life. So if you can take this, to help you take this decision quickly, I decided to do 2 things. One of them is that I'm giving you 100% money back guarantee. And what does it mean? You can register the course now, and you can attend the first session and stay all the way to the end and get the recording at the end of it. And if you tell me at any point, if after the first session you decide from any reason that this is actually not for you, then just email me and let me know, and I'm going to give you all of your money back, no questions asked. So you can attend the first session, you can get the recording. If at any point before the second session you email me with that, I'm going to give you your money back. So really, you have nothing to lose. The risk is on me. You don't take any risks. Now, I'm going to do something else for you, but this is just for 24 hours, just to help you make the decision quickly. Instead of the real cost, that's £87, I'm going to make 10% discount just for 24 hours. Which means you're going to pay £78. 24 hours, that's from now till tomorrow at 4 p.m. So till 4 p.m. tomorrow, the price for you, whoever is attending this webinar today, is going to be £78. After that, it's going to be £87, and then till it fills up, basically. So again, this is the course. 5 weeks to your crowdfunding campaign course. You also get a personal advice session with me. You also get unlimited email access to me. You also get a support Facebook group and the artist list, which is the complete course about mailing lists. And this is my offer to you. And I'm going to leave it here, and I'm going to have a look at, and I am aware that I'm running a bit later as well, but if you want to stay to the Q&A, then please do. I'm going to stay till the last question's been asked. So yeah. Brilliant. Let's have a look at your questions. And if you need to leave now, then thank you so much for being here. Oh, sorry, I'm gonna, of course, I want to give you a link. So this is, right, so you should now see a link, like a big yellow button that says I'm interested. If you click that button, you can get to the page where you can actually register to the course. So click this big yellow button and you can get there. I'm also going, just in case you can't see it, I'm also going to give you, the direct link to that. So you should be able to get a direct link now. Okay, let's have a look. Let's have a look at your questions. Okay, what platform is best for people? Email, Facebook, LinkedIn. Okay, so I didn't quite, that's Jules. Jules, I didn't quite understand the question, because email and Facebook are not the same platform. I would do all. So basically, email you definitely do, and that's going to be the most responsive way of communication. When you email people, it's considered to be personal, and people are going to be very responsive. Now, if you have a community on Facebook, do Facebook, definitely do Facebook. Even if you just have friends and you don't have like an artistic community or a page, that's also fine. Even if you just have friends on Facebook. If you also have an account on LinkedIn and you already have lots of networks going on there, then do that too. Whatever you've got active, do it. And if you want to prepare, then you just make your networks and you make your communities more active before you actually launch your campaign, if that makes sense. Okay, let's just see. I just want to make sure that I've scrolled down till the very bottom of the questions. Okay, so we got to the OCD question. Is it issue based? Access to, okay, that. Oh, sorry. I didn't say anything about my tip. Oh my god. Okay, so I'm gonna take 5 minutes to do that. I'm sorry that I'm running late, but it's just because I'm really passionate about giving you loads of content. So if you can stay a bit longer, then that's great. So I'm going to talk about my tip. How to make your crowdfunding page looks really impressive to people who come and check it out. So what you're going to do is that you're going to start from planning stage. And what you're going to do is you're going to take all of your contacts, that you know of, and you're going to divide them to these 3 groups that I talked about before. So in the first group, you're going to put the people who you know, and it's going to be even smaller group than just your closest friends. You're going to put in this group the people that you know who are going to give you money for sure to your campaign, and you know who these are. So so this is going to be your first group. Your second group is the people who are responsive about your work. So it could be just friends whom you talk with about your work. It could be a mailing list. If it's responsive mailing list, that's great. If you've got a responsive Facebook page, all of this goes to your second group. And your third group is going to be everyone else, the rest of the world, basically. And what you're going to do is that about 7 days before you actually launch your campaign, you approach your first group, the people who are definitely going to give you money. And these people, you approach them and you tell them, right, listen, people, this is what I'm going to do. This is my project I'm going to run. This is my campaign that I'm going to run. In about 7 days, I'm going to launch a crowdfunding campaign. And what I want from you is to not only support my campaign that I guess you'll be happy to do, but also I need you to do it really quickly. I basically need you to do it as soon as the campaign opens. I'm going to let you know, I'm going to remind you, and whatever you want to give me, I'm just asking you not to wait till the end of your campaign, because sometimes it happens with the people that know us most. They just wait for like the last minute. So I'm asking you not to wait late, but I'm asking you to just do it as soon as the campaign opens. And so you do it, and then a day before you launch your campaign, you approach them again and you remind them and you tell them, hey, tomorrow I'm going to launch the campaign. So I'm going to send you a link, and I'm just going to ask you if you can to support this campaign as soon as possible. And then you launch it and you send them a link, and you look to see who's responded already and who's not, and you actually chase them. But it's not bad chasing, because it's going to be like your mom, your best friend, your aunt, people who you're really, really personal with. Yeah, they're definitely going to support your project. If you feel uncomfortable doing it with anybody, they probably shouldn't be in the first group. Okay, don't do it if you don't feel comfortable doing it with that person. Right, so that means that on the first day of launching your campaign, you already will have a significant amount of money in your campaign, and you can get to like 10% of your campaign on the first day, which is really, really great. The next day, day number 2 of your campaign, you approach your second circle, and whoever didn't support you from the first circle as well. Yeah. So your second circle, you approach them and you tell them, hey, this is my project, my new project. This is my campaign. Have a look. They're going to come and have a look. And what are they going to see? They're going to see a campaign that already has, I don't know, £1,000 in, or even £800 in, or maybe £2,000 in, and they're going to be really impressed. And the thing that we want to work on is on something psychological that's called social proof. When people see that other people gave money already, they're much more likely to do it themselves. And when people see that a campaign is successful, they're much more likely to want to get involved in this campaign. So they're going to see it, they're going to get more impressed than what they would have if they'd seen like an empty campaign, and they're going to give more money than what they would have. And this is going to be the first impression that you're going to make on them as well, which is much better than an empty campaign first impression. And only like about 7 days later, after you've emailed your first group, you've emailed your second group once, and then maybe you even email them twice after 7 days. Only then you approach group number 3, the rest of the world. And when the rest of the world comes and sees your campaign, they see a successful campaign already. A campaign that's only been up for like 7-8 days, but already has like 30% or even more. And this is going to be really impressive, and people would like to join the success. They're going to see a successful campaign, and they would like to have a piece of this success. And it's just going to make your total so much higher. And you really want to act that way, not only because it's going to make your total higher, but also if you act this way, it's going to make your promotion plan much clearer. And you wouldn't have to struggle with like the rest of the world on like day 1 of your campaign and just like try and convince people and write I don't know what to people who don't know you with an empty campaign. You don't need to do that. Only after your campaign has proven to be successful, then you approach people you don't know. In the beginning, you just deal with people who are friendly to you. So this is a tip that you really, if you run a crowdfunding campaign, you have to follow this tip. It's just going to be very, very valuable to you. Great. So I'm gonna read through your questions now. If anybody needs to leave, I'm sure that some people have left already. That's fine. This is fine. But if anyone wants to stay till the end of the questions, then I'm very happy that you still stay here. And listen, okay. So let's see what other questions. Okay, maybe Jill says, which is a very good idea. Maybe if people want opinions on their individual campaigns, we can exchange emails, Facebook, LinkedIn links, so you can all occur outside this platform. We're obviously all interested to form a group. Might be a good idea. I think, Jules, this is a great idea, and I think actually what I'm going to do. If you don't mind, kind of like me jumping on this idea, just because I thought of doing it anyway. I'm going to do something similar with a course, but obviously not everyone's going to go on the course. It's only going to be 20 people. But I might form a group, a Facebook group myself. So I'm going to email you the link to that. If I do it, I'm going to email you all the link to that. If you want to join it, you can join it, and then people can exchange ideas and questions. That's going to be really helpful. JP says thanks. Emily says that's a good idea. Jules, yeah, good idea, great. Okay, this is the question. Okay, Chris, I'm getting a bit adapt to improve. Okay. Okay, so everyone's putting their emails now. I'm gonna, okay. Jules, I'm gonna email you, and I'm gonna see if we can do it in a bit more efficient way, just because I have all your emails. I'm obviously not going to share all your emails without consent, but maybe we can do it in something that's going to be a bit more efficient. I can email you guys. Great. Okay. Some more emails. That's great. People are really up for it. That's brilliant. Thanks, Jules, for raising it. Great. So I can't see any more like specific questions. Oh, there you go. Isaac says, is it good or bad to crowdfund the same project on different sites or platforms? That's a good question. And my answer is quite clear. I think it's not helpful at all to do it at the same time on different sites. That's not going to give you anything. All it'll do is spread your energy onto like 2, 3, 4, 5 different campaigns, and it'll make your campaigns weaker. You really want to concentrate all your effort into one campaign. It's anyways going to be you who's sending people to your crowdfunding page. So why would you send people to different crowdfunding page? You want to send everyone to the same crowdfunding page, so your efforts are going to be more focused, and people are going to get this social proof, and they're going to see that other people are giving money. If other people are giving money on Kickstarter, but I'm watching your campaign on Indiegogo or a different platform, that's not going to convince me to give you money. Does that make sense? So you want to concentrate all the people into the same campaign at the same time, so it feels and is more successful. Defining project. I'm concerned how to clearly define project whilst retaining creative flexibility for the work project to evolve. Well, Richard, that's a good question. But I probably need more information than that on like what you mean. So I'm not sure I know, or you probably wrote it, but I can't remember what actually it is that you do. But basically, if you need to be very flexible, then you define and design your project in a way that it's very flexible. Like the example I gave before of a musician that defined a project as just getting new equipment to their studio. So that's a project, it's a very clear project with a very clear aim and result and very clear budget, but it's still very flexible in terms of the artist's work. Also, you can say, if you're a photographer, you can say, I want to shoot a series of photographs around, I don't know, around India. So, and I want funding for that. But all that means, it's a very specific project, but all that means that you need to go to India and do this project, but it doesn't mean what you're going to shoot or how you're going to shoot it. So you still are very flexible as an artist, and it really is up to you the way you define your project. You define it the way that feels comfortable for you, and this is the great thing about crowdfunding, because you can do it, you can define it in any way you want to define it. It's just the point is that it needs to be very clear to the one who watches your page and your video. You need to make it really clear for them. If it's vague and I don't know what you're going to do with my money, and I don't know what your project is about or what it's for, then I'm not very likely to take part in it, really, because it's not clear. Right, Ina says, I want to do a campaign for a documentary on Palestine. Which rewards can I suggest? Thanks. A documentary on Palestine. So first of all, any documentary, any film, you give your film, right? So that's like an obvious one for a documentary. You can also send postcards from Palestine. You can get stuff from Palestine. Maybe you can get like stuff that you can get there. Like souvenirs kind of thing. You can do that. I don't know. You can do so much. Documentary, you can obviously, again, as a film, any film, you can put the names of the people in the titles as a thank you. So yeah, if you give some more information, and again, I do recommend, for ideas for rewards, this is the best thing to do, I think, is to go on crowdfunding platforms and just have a look at similar projects. Have a look at other documentaries, Ina, and see what they give for rewards. It'll just kind of really give you ideas and start getting you creative about it. But I have to say, this is for everyone. The rewards don't need to all be really creative. Some of them are very, very obvious, like giving your documentary a download of it, a downloadable version, or a physical version of it. That's an obvious one. It's not a creative reward, but it's really almost a necessary reward. So you only need to have like 2 or 3 really creative, nice rewards to like make your list seems really, really fun. Yeah. I want to, okay, there. Really enjoyed it. Thank you. Okay, great. Oh, that's a long one. What's that? I tell same questions I sent before. How much time does it take to maintain a crowdfunding pitch? How many bulletins, news? How often to be enthusiastic? That's Chris, yeah. Also, how to get a good link and or referral, and how to get many more hits from potential backers. So to get many more hits from potential backers, we've got a few different questions here. is just to manage to promote it and to promote it well. And again, everything I said before about your circles and about communicating with your circles, the better you communicate with them, the more likely they are to go and check your crowdfunding campaign. Also, what is currently popular and gets people to back it? Well, I wouldn't recommend, or at least go for the perks. I wouldn't recommend doing like something that's just because it's popular. I would really honestly recommend that whatever you're really passionate about and whatever you want to do, just go for it. And people are going to like it if you like it and if you think it's worth doing. I don't understand what you mean about how much time does it take to maintain a crowdfunding page. Do you mean how long the video needs to be? Well, if this is what you mean, then again, I don't have a specific answer. It's not like a 3.5 minutes. It shouldn't be very, very long. And I think around kind of like up to 4 minutes is a nice length. But more importantly, I think that it needs to be interesting and it needs to be informative. And if it's not interesting, then even a 1 minute video can feel really, really long, too long. And if it's really interesting, then even 7 and 8 minutes video can feel great and short, if that makes sense. So basically, just keep it interesting and show people your video, show your friends your video and ask them to comment on it. Yeah, and to tell you what they think, basically. I'm just going to quickly try and read everything you said. So, okay, we said that. Musician, but is everyone in there? Got it doing that already? Oh, yeah, and I remember, of course, I remember your question. I didn't realize you're going to be on this session, sorry. And I'm probably younger than I am. I'm going to more innovative as well as effective. Right, okay, so the fact that people are younger than you or more photogenic doesn't need to affect your crowdfunding campaign at all. What needs to affect your crowdfunding campaign is how clear your project is for you and how passionate you are about it. If you feel this project is really important for you and for the world, then people are going to get convinced as well. If you deliver it well, if you communicate it well, people are going to get convinced. And if everyone's doing music and CDs, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You do your own music, right? If you can take what you do and make it very specific and make it very different to, it's your specific work, right? No one does music like you do music. No one writes the same music as you. And your music is worth being produced and being put into this world. So if you get people convinced that your music is worth being written, then they will help you to do it. Why not? Right, plus which crowdfunding sites to use for which type of event or activity, and whether to use all or nothing final total target or pay whatever you receive, even a target. Okay, so which crowdfunding site? I can't tell you because there's so many, and any crowdfunding site that deals with creative project is going to be good for you. And to be honest, from my experience, what really, really matters is that you bring people to have a look at your campaign. And because Kickstarter is not going to bring, even though Kickstarter is the biggest site in the world, is not going to bring people to come and see your campaign. And you're not going to have many random people who come and back your project just because they saw it on Kickstarter. So to be very honest, I mean, you can make kind of your decisions, and also the different crowdfunding campaigns take slightly different amount of money as a commission. So you can have a look at that and decide what's best for you. Also, Chris is asking about all or nothing or a flexible campaign. And that means there are two types of campaigns. Actually, now there are three types of campaigns already. One type is the all or nothing campaign. So if it means that if your target is £2,000 and you get £1,900, you don't get that. You don't get anything. All the money that's been put into the project goes back to the people who gave it, and you get nothing. This is very good for projects who needs a certain amount of money to actually run. If you say, for my project, I need this £2,000. If I get £1,900, I'm just not going to be able to make the project. Then you want to have an all or nothing campaign, because there's no point in you getting money that's not going to help you run the project, and you're going to get stuck with a commitment to running a project that you simply can't run, and you don't want to be there. A flexible campaign is if you want to have 2,000, but actually you can run your project for nothing as well, or for 500 as well. You can do flexible. And now on Sponsume, you have a third type of campaign, which is you set up two different targets. So with the first target is your all or nothing target. So you set this, you say, for £1,000, I have to have at least £1,000 to run my campaign. I'm actually raising for £5,000. This is what I want to get. But if I get less than £5,000, it doesn't matter. As long as I get 1,000, I still run the campaign. That means that if you get anything over £1,000, you get it. If you get anything under £1,000, you don't get anything, if that makes sense. It's kind of like a hybrid that can be really useful for many different projects. Right, anything else? Let's see, the one thing, there's a kind of like a really exciting discussion about the sale at the end. And yeah, I mean, it's just an opportunity that I'm giving you, basically. You and 19 more people. If you want to take it, take it. If not, it's really fine, and I'm really happy to help you and to help you more and to answer your questions. And again, if you feel your question has not been answered, feel free to email me, and I will answer you as well. What's the importance to do? The one thing I didn't get, that's David. The one thing I didn't get was the importance of video. So I agree it was worthwhile being on here, even for just that. Oh, okay. The one thing I didn't get before is the importance of the video, and now you get it. So that's really, I'm really happy to hear that, because when you don't understand how important things are, and they are very important, no, that's a shame. And I'm happy, because video is the most important element in your page, not in your campaign, but in your page. Right. Great, more questions. I'm just looking for more questions. Tony saying, thank you so much, Tal, for the info. Great help. Great, thank you. Okay. Okay. Thanks, Tal, for the info. Anybody can pick up what's useful. Great. What if you're on a course or work? Kamal asks, what if you're on a course or work? I didn't understand the question, Kamal. If this question is for me, then you can write it again and explain what you mean, because I didn't understand that. Sorry. So Michelle asks, someone else already asked, but is further down in this letter. Can you run the same campaign on several separate crowdfunding platforms? Okay, so I did answer that. I think the question in short is no. I mean, you can, but it's just not gonna help you at all. Great. Don't forget the simple trick I did remember at the end. Thank you. Great. Okay, so what is your supposed? Okay, so I did that. Tip 1 was thank you, Tal. Got to run. Great. Great. Thanks, Isaac, for the book tip. I'll have a look at that as well. When you mentioned about theatre aid, would you actually work with people individually to do a crowdfunding campaign like with my OCD play, Kamal? So yeah, Kamal, if you want to have a personal mentoring, then you can definitely do that. I can send you a link to book it. If you want to do it, then email me and I will send you a link and we can discuss and arrange that. That's no problem. If you feel like you need like a really personal one-on-one, only for you mentoring process, then that's no problem. Jules says, Tal, if you want any advice from me, feel free to email. Okay, thanks, Jules. I'll be happy to know what you're doing and what you do. I might need some advice from you. I don't know what you do. Thanks for the offer. Richard, I think you might have missed my question. Okay, defining project. I'm concerned how to clear define project while returning. Okay, so we talked about that. Just great idea. Thanks, Tal. Thanks, Isaac. Thanks for the advice and information. What would you say about the role of telling a story as part of the campaign, the power of storytelling? Isaac, I didn't understand if that's a question or I'm just going to say what I think about it. Storytelling as part of your campaign is really important, and this is your video, basically. In your video, you're going to tell the story of your campaign. You're going to tell the story about how you got to think about this project, how you got to want to do this project. And if you know how to do storytelling, that will help you to build and to plan a really successful video. Of course, storytelling is really powerful when we want to get people to take action. Right. Thanks, Tara. The webinar has been really useful, very useful. Thank you. Have you used Thunderclap before, and what is your opinion on those platforms to help promote your crowdfunding campaign? I actually don't know what Thunderclap is, Emily. If you email me a link, I can have a look at it and let you know. There's so many different tools. I don't even know if it's a crowdfunding platform or if it's like a tool. There's so many different tools around in the market. Some of them are helpful. Some of them are not, I think, or maybe not relevant to us. Maybe they're more relevant to businesses. There's quite a lot of crowdfunding advice and tools that's to do with businesses. So not everything is relevant to artists. But and in short, Emily, if you email me the link, then I'll be happy to have a look and let you know what I think. Great. Logging off now. I got an unanswered questions, Kamal. Okay, I hope you got an answer question now, Kamal. Sorry, there's like just a bit of a delay and it takes me a while to get to all the questions. I've been inspired by your introduction. Thank you. Mythem, is this how you pronounce your name? I hope I pronounce it right. I need to leave shortly, but I'm sure I'm take up on your kind offer. Great, and definitely send you my questions. Brilliant. Great. Okay, I meant if you are on a course or working during those 5-week sessions. Okay, come on. Okay, I understand your question. So basically, for now, this is the course times. But again, as I said, the two things. First of all, you are going to get all the recordings a day after the session has happened. You're going to get the recording for the session. So you're not missing the sessions, and you get all the all the sessions, and they're here and they're with you. The other thing is that you can also, because it's online, you can also watch it from your phone. So if you can even have an hour break in your work, I don't know if it's possible in your work, yeah, or in your course, but if you can get an hour break, you can still watch it kind of on the go. That's another option. But at the moment, that's the only time. I don't know when, but I probably will open another one at some point, and it might be in the evening times. This course was meant to be in the evening times, but then I changed it from different reasons. But I might open another one at some point, but I don't know when, and I don't want to promise anything. Last thing, how much would an individual session cost? One session is £55. That's what I said that before. I mentioned that before. So Kamal, if you want anything individual, just email me and we can talk further. Isaac, we've hardwired for storytelling as humans, so I suggest it would be important to inquire, especially using archetypes, etc. But that's maybe going too deep. That's a big subject, Isaac. I think you're very, very right. That's a big subject. And yeah, you can go deeper and deeper into that. I'm not going to go so deep into that. I also come from the theatre world, so it really kind of resonates, but with like what I do on my day-to-day basis as well. But I think it's very deep for this kind of training. This has been great. Oh, that's it. Okay. I'm gonna Kelly, thanks for the link. I'm gonna have a look at it later in a minute. Thanks, Al. Thanks, everyone. Best of luck. Would that affect the ability to grasp the course, this course, though? Kamal, well, of course, it's really recommended that you're actually online on the sessions, just because there's like a slightly different energy when you're actually attending something that's live and you can ask questions on the spot. On the other hand, if you listen to the session carefully, if you get your questions down, you email them to me, I respond to you personally within 48 hours. And you do have a personal advice session with me as well, on top of what you get from the course. So it should be really fine. I mean, it's designed to really work flexibly to different sort of people. And I do appreciate you would love to be on the session, on the live sessions, and I would love you to be on the live sessions as well. Again, as I said, at the moment, this is the time. And it's not going to change for this course. It might change for later courses, but I don't know when they happen. So yeah, sorry, that's like all I can say to you at the moment. I'm sure you can gain a lot from it anyway without actually being live on the sessions as well. Bye-bye, I have to go. Okay. Okay. Right. So I think I'm gonna close this session now. Quite a few people have left already. Emily, I'm gonna have a look at your link and I'm gonna email you about it, because I'm interested to know what it is as well. But at the moment, I'm just gonna also say thanks a lot for staying for so long as well. We were so much over the time. So thank you for everyone who stayed, and thank you also for everyone who's left already. And I hope this has been really helpful, and I hope to keep in touch with you in the future, either in the course or otherwise. Great, so I'm going to log off now, and thank you again. Have a great, great day.